So welcome back, Zen. You are here to talk to us in part 2 of your series of the Art of Quantum Miracles and your IGS, your Inner Guidance System.
Yes, I am. Thank you so much for having me back. Well, I would love to start with, for anyone who hasn't didn't listen to part 1, definitely go back and listen to part 1, because I talk about the internal guidance system, which is a inner GPS that you have, an internal guidance system that is really powerful and connects to this next segment. So I just want to say that. But also, I want to talk about what a quantum miracle is. So in following your internal guidance system, what I have found is that miracles become the norm. That really this world that we live in is made up of divine synchronicity and miracles. And it's our mind, our thoughts, our beliefs, the filter that we see the world in that takes us away from miracles, takes us away from the synchronicity. And the internal guidance system piece is about helping us feel in our body when we're going away from the miracle norms, and brings us back to them. So that's where that connects in. And then the quantum part is when you follow your internal guidance system, which means you cultivate your thinking consciously, which is what manifestation is about. Consciously choosing the thoughts that are going to bring you the life that you desire. And in using your IGS where you open, so you know that you're in divine purpose, you know that you're in your divine alignment as with those thoughts, things happen so fast. They happen so fast. And the great part is because they're in alignment, everyone else that needs to be in a part of it, or resources that you need for whatever you're manifesting, that is also comes to you so fast because there's no resistance. So quantum is the speed of light. It's very quick, and it's also very small. Definition of quantum means a particular particle of matter that's very small. So very small changes create very fast changes when you use your internal guidance system, and miracles occur. That's where the quantum miracle experience is. And so the cool thing about all of this that I want to talk, well, it's not so cool, but the cool thing is you can avoid a lot of the law of attraction pitfalls that people who have tried to be a conscious creator have gotten into, where maybe they can manifest parking spaces, but not millions of dollars, their dream home or their love of their life, or being able to have the contribution, this really unique gift that they have inside them that helps people, not having that get out in large enough service, with the desire of how they want to serve. This little quantum miracle, these mini shifts into the opening using the internal guidance system, they help get rid of the pitfalls. And so I'd love to talk a little bit with you about the pitfalls of manifestation and the law of attraction, if that's okay.
Oh, sure, because a lot of people are talking about the law of attraction, and they make it seem like it's very easy, but it doesn't seem to work all the time, and a lot of people wonder why.
Exactly. Well, so what's pretty much been taught by most people, there are some wonderful teachers out there that are teaching things differently, but what's pretty much taught is, get really clear on what you want, and then feel into the future. Imagine yourself in the future having that thing, and it will come to you. And basically, that is kind of true. That is a part of it. Okay?
It's
kind of true. Exactly. Or do affirmations in the mirror in the morning and all of that. But what happens is we sit down and we do this great vision board, or we do a visualization, or we say a bunch of affirmations, and then we get up. That was really fun, and we go back into our life, and we get into our car, and the car doesn't start, or we go to the ATM and we've overdrafted, and there's a couple of charges, or we get back into the dating world and we just continue to meet a bunch of jerks. And what happens is our attractor field actually hasn't changed. So the way the law of attraction works is that we are vibrational creatures. And vibration, what I mean, is something that actually science can measure. It measures the frequency. In fact, Greg Braden says that the vibrational frequency of a human being can be felt kilometers away from where they're actually physically standing. Mm-hmm. So each person has an attractor field, and that attractor field is made up of desires and fears, emotions, okay, beliefs and intentions, and then whether we feel actual resistance or allowing in the body. And so you step back out, and all those 4 aspects of your thought process, of what you create energetically, are the same. So even though you just did this great visualization or, vision board, you have not actually really done much change in the vibrational makeup.
So how do we do that?
Yes. So the first thing is the internal guidance system, okay? So what I just described to you is what I call the power manifestation formula. And it's the 4 types of thoughts. And to create anything in your life, you have to know what you desire or what you fear, because a lot of times all that fear is desire going unexpressed in the body. Your body is asking you, divine source is asking you to uncover the fear and ask for what you desire instead. And so you have to really get clear with your desires. Then the second thing is our emotions. Our emotions are supercharged, but most of them are not true. They're coming from some story that our mind is generating that's false. And so that story is creating your life. So if you have the story that you're bad at sales, guess what? You're going to be bad at sales. If you have a story that you can't find a guy that's perfect for you, guess what? If you have a story going on that you're a bad parent, guess what? You're going to end up attracting to you situations in which your bad parenting part will show up. And the thing is that in our story, which leads to how we feel, our emotions, it happens faster because of our emotions. So what's crucial is learning how to master your emotional experience by changing the story of your mind. It's a really fun practice we do in the Art of Quantum Miracles course. And it's one of the things that we focus on. We focus on all of this plus more. And then the third aspect of the formula is beliefs and intentions. Now, the cool thing is that with emotions is meaning, and that meaning is coming from your belief. So in just discovering what your story is, there's a belief underneath it. And that belief is like the architecture, that's like the structure of a home that's being built, the framework. So those beliefs are like, you can't pick up and put a bathroom in the middle of the living room. There's plumbing that's needed, and all of these different things have to happen in order to do that. Well, it's just the same thing as trying to manifest $1 million when the architecture of your soul doesn't believe that you can generate $1 million of worth or value in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So the belief in finding the story and using the internal guidance system to change the story into the opening, what almost always automatically happens is the belief immediately changes, because the IGS, internal guidance system, creates a new energetic story in the body. So beliefs are automatically cleaned up. And then the last piece of it is receiving and allowing, or restriction, resistance. And the internal guidance system, in the opening and closing, when you're open, you're in allowing state of being, which means anything that you've envisioned and desire can come to you. And when you're in closing, that means you're in resistance. That means what you're thinking is stopping whatever you desire from coming to you. And so in just daily moving into the opening, as you're just paying attention, going out your day, staying in this open expression of, by using your IGS, you are in a perfect state of allowing for things to show up quickly. So you can use this formula forward, like I just described it, which will create what you want in the world. But then there's this other aspect, which is I call polishing your mirror, and we'll talk more about that in another segment. But everything around you is coming to you from your vibrational makeup. And if something is there that you don't like, you start with the back side of the formula, in resistance and allowing. And you look at, okay, what am I resisting here? And what will happen is you'll get a belief, or it'll come up. I don't believe I can have this, or I believe this person's going to do me wrong, or I believe that my husband is disrespecting me, or I believe that my child is on drugs, or I believe that no one will pay me this amount of money for my services. And you're tight. You can feel it. That means that thought's not true. Your IGS is saying it's not true. Okay, so that belief is not true. What is true? And then you pivot, which is this practice I teach in my course. You pivot and you look for the opening. And in finding the opening, you're moving that belief, and you're also moving into the state of allowing. So in being in the state of allowing and moving back towards belief, you find the belief. What happens is then you look at the emotional experience you have now that the belief has changed. And you work opening up your emotional experience, releasing the happiness and the joy and the gratitude and the gratefulness that's coming because you now understand that you found what is true for you in those situations. And then you express a desire. Wow, I really want my husband to understand me clearly. I really desire for people to see my value, and I am worth what I'm asking. I am. I can get that. I can feel it now fully in my body. I've got the emotional charge, the opening expression, and I'm now allowed to desire it fully. So you can use the formula to uncreate what you're experiencing in your life as well. And the pitfall, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say that.
I'm doing all the talking.
I'm
sorry.
I'm just so very excited. I'm starting to think about something, what we, in the spiritual community, in the metaphysical community, we talk a lot about blocks. And the blocks seem to stay there no matter what we do, or like you say, no matter how many vision boards we make. But it sounds like you're giving us an actual kind of plan and a step-by-step instruction manual to disassemble those blocks.
Exactly, I am. That's exactly what it is. And here's the thing so the more that you focus on a block that you have, the longer the block will be there, because your focus is on the block. Whatever you're in resistance to comes to you.
Mm-hmm.
The law of attraction doesn't say, and one thing I use is, if you're focused on debt, all you're going to do is make more debt. You have to be focused on money. And I actually often recommend people, and I don't mean money as in I'll give you the two things. This will be an example. Debt is really trust. The company that has, and the person or the bank, whatever it is that has given you the loan, they trust that you're going to pay it back. And the interest rate, the level of interest rate you have, is the level of trust that they have in you. So if it's a high interest rate, they're like, I trust you, but there's a little bit of iffiness there. So I'm going to go ahead and, but if you have a low interest rate, some people have 9% interest rates on their credit cards, right? They have a higher level of trust. So, but once you start going, I want to pay back the trust. I'm ready to, and I want to develop more trust in the world with money and people having it. And so once you start working on it on a trust level, then things begin to shift. The actual energy in your body begins to shift. They trust me, and that means that I am trustworthy, and I will pay it back, and I'm going to do it quickly. So then money, to me, and the way I look at it, because a lot of people have really bad, money is the root of all evil, and or I can't make money, or there's all this stuff that becomes a vibration, right? So the reason why this is all these little things, it sounds like, oh, it's a good conversation. No, they are proving in science that these kinds of conversations that you have in your head that create your physical being and your emotion and your wellness, these thoughts that you're having are actual viable energy sources that work, that actually can change. You can change your DNA. You can turn on and off aspects of your DNA with your thoughts. So this is not little stuff. This is massive, powerful information on how we work on a quantum level with the reality around us. So money is appreciation. I really appreciate having my lights on, and I pay my electric bill. I really do. I appreciate it, and I pay my electric bill. However, if somebody comes up to me selling something on the street, if I appreciate it, I'm like, ooh, I really want that. That's beautiful. Thank you. That's interesting. They'll look at it and go, wow, okay, and I'll pay them. But if I don't appreciate it, I'll go, no, thank you. That's not something for me, and I'll move forward. So when people are looking at their value and being paid, it's how much appreciation are you asking for the service you're providing? And also looking at everything around you. So when you go to put another thing on your credit card, do I appreciate this thing enough to put credit, to extend the trust that someone has given me towards this other person? And when you start looking at it as and really being in the conversation of appreciation and trust, vibrationally, your inner aspects change. And what happens is people begin looking at you and your value as something, whether they appreciate it or not. If they appreciate you, they'll pay you for your service, what value you bring. And if not, then they won't. And if you want to extend trust through you to something else, right? And it physically changes the conversation in the vibrational matrix of the body. And that's what this formula does, is it pays attention to what creates our matrix. I call it the attractor field. What creates our attractor field? And when you use your internal guidance system and you're on your blueprint, and you're using your attractor field, these 4 aspects of the power manifestation formula, to be lined up into an opening, things become really simple and easy. And so that is what we're teaching, is an actual system of creating the world around you and physically looking at the world around you and going, oh, I'm getting this. Why am I getting people honking at me all the time? Why am I getting people, firing me? Why am I having people not pay me and owing me money? And being able to look at the world around you and use this formula to truly, truly consciously create and as a system in your life.
I really love this system. I think I discovered part of it years ago when I was working on my own health. And I remember trying to create health and vitality in my body, but I did it incorrectly for a very long time because in my head, I played kind of the tape that said, I don't want to be sick. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to be sick. And it was a revelation to me to understand that wanting to be healthy was something much different than not wanting to be sick. And I think that plays into this idea, doesn't it?
Yes, that's exactly it. Mm-hmm. And also, and the other thing, and that's perfect. And I would express to start paying attention to all the healthy areas of your body.
Mm-hmm.
Your nose doesn't hurt, it's good. If your eyes are good, start being like, hands, I'm working with my hands, it feels so good and there's no pain and it's wonderful. That is really a way to keep the matrix going. And
that's a little bit about like what gratitude journals are as well. Mm-hmm. That helps us get into that kind of a flow. Zen, this has been terrific talking to us a little bit about the law of attraction and why it doesn't always work in part 2 of your series of The Art of Quantum Miracles. What are you going to talk about next time in part 3?
Well, I'm going to just keep it a surprise. It's moving forward more with them. Moving forward more with Quantum Miracles. And I'm going to have you guys tune in because it's incredibly juicy and you're not going to want to miss it.
Okay. And remember, we're getting a lot of this information straight from Zen's book called Your Inner GPS. And you can find her book on Amazon or on her website, which is zeninamoment.com. That's right, isn't it, Zen?
Yes.
Okay. Well, next time we will talk about it more, and we'll see you then.